Hello, friends. This is your pick a card reading for the week of March 31st, 2025. So, the way this works is I will deal out 4 piles of cards. We'll flip the top card over and I'll give you a quick interpretation of it so that you can then choose which pile resonates with you and your situation the most. And then we'll go through each pile and we'll pull a reading from each one. Hopefully that clicks with you. And as we do so, please feel free to leave comments. Let me know which pile you've chosen. I think we've shuffled just fine here, so let's see what we have for this week. There are 4 piles. And for our first pile, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Pile number 2, the 4 of Pentacles. The third pile is the 8 of Cups. And the last pile will be the 2 of Wands. So the first pile, the Knight of Pentacles, is a great choice for you if you are beginning, if you have some new abundance or wealth possibly coming into your life or new opportunities have emerged for you. This is a great pile and thing to explore for you this week. The 4 of Coins is an excellent pile, again, for anyone with sort of money, abundance, or even physical health concerns. Although I would like to note I am not a doctor. This pile is more about perhaps things that you are clinging on to, or maybe you're feeling some lack in your life. And so this may resonate more with you in that case. We also have the third pile, the 8 of Cups, which may click with you if you are having a bit more of an introspective journey right now this week in your life, if you are feeling perhaps emotionally burdened in some way, or seeking some deeper wisdom regarding your emotional and or spiritual self, this might really be something for you to listen closely to. And then the 2 of Wands, the fourth pile, is a great choice for you if you are in a place where you are perhaps looking out into the world and looking to expand your horizons. Maybe you've made some achievements and progress on something that you're doing, perhaps in your career or job especially, and now you're kind of wondering, okay, well, what's next? So that's going to be a great pile for you to choose from if you click with that. And so I'll give you a moment to think that over and leave your comments below and let me know which choice you'd like to make today. And as always, if you are watching on YouTube, I will have chapters for each pile reading, so you can skip ahead if you wish. Okay, and so let's begin. And we will begin with pile 1, the Knight of Pentacles. We see some new opportunities either on their way into your life this week or have just arrived, and seemingly sort of out of the blue. Anything involving the Knights usually shows up pretty quickly and abruptly. They are fast moving. So this is going to be a very rapid and new development in your life, probably regarding some material thing, often money and finance itself. It might also be a new revelation about perhaps physical health, or again, any of the material things in your world. And let's try to get a little bit better idea of what that is as we pull our next card. So now we have the Devil. Oh my, often a card that people get a bit scared of and afraid of, but it's nothing to be too afraid of, really. The Devil here is a warning for us. So this might be a little more about physical health, or even I really think and feel perhaps a sort of a conflict, or sort of the intersection of your financial and life, your abundance, perhaps your work life, and physical health. So maybe you're going through some stress right now, some financial stress, and or just stress with how you earn a living, which is most likely a job or your career. And the pull for you, I sense, is that you're being pulled into, okay, I need to make more money. I have to do more work. I have to get a second job. I have to have more. And that's what the devil is really sort of indicating here, is that you are very much pulled into your sense of material self. And I think that might be causing you some problems because you might be a bit imbalanced in this. And so here we have the Empress. Um, and this again suggests that imbalance. We have sort of slavery to the material self and the material world here in the devil. And then we have the Empress, someone who is emotionally strong, who is compassionate, is organized, and is abundant, but does so through a balanced and healthy life. So this is telling me that you're really getting led into the chase of materialism, feeling like you have not a feeling of lack, like you're not making enough, you don't have enough, and you're really feeling the pull and temptation to do everything and anything possible to end that. You're really sort of deeply feeding these material drives, and you're losing sight of the fact that we are most abundant and successful when we have a balanced life, when our work and personal life is balanced, when we have a happy home life, when we are not stressed, when we are calm. And so, real abundance and success, and all the material things in the world that you would like to have, come not from just lusting over those things and working ourselves to death and stressing about it, but really going with the flow. And so, working in ways that are more aligned with who we are and with what is emotionally healthy for us, doing the things that feel good. So, that requires things like self care. Even though the self care may not make you income directly or bring you wealth directly, it will allow you to act more effectively, to make better decisions. And so let's see where that is leading us. So again, more of this feminine queen energy. And so here we have the Queen of Wands, again, underscoring this idea that you need to work more from a place of your heart, from a place of what feels good to you. Take time for yourself, and you will be able to accomplish everything. This is so important for people in the modern world, where we're just getting our attention and drives are just getting pulled all over the place. And it can really lead to self-destruction. So you need to take some time, step back, and really lean into the things that are going to make you feel more fulfilled as a person, even if they're not directly related to earning money. If you have some vacation time or able to take a break for yourself, do so, or start at least planning that for yourself in the near future. Because you're really having a rough time right now, sort of chasing the almighty dollar. And as you lean more into that, again, more beautiful queen energy here, greater abundance will come to you. You'll move from the Knight of Pentacles and this like racing sense of I got to make more, I got to do more, into a much stronger sense of financial security by taking this time and really getting in touch with what is aligned with your feelings and what feels good to do. So absolutely take that time for yourself, engage in that self-care, take a step back. It will, and really get yourself back into a proper flow and rhythm of life so that you have balance. And through that balance, you will find way greater wealth and success for yourself here going forward in your life. And that's a really great message and a great warning from the universe here for you this week. So let's move on to the second pile. So here we have the Four of Pentacles, sort of similar themes to the first pile. And this is more about clinging on to some things and less about sort of a drastic decline into sort of, again, that wanton materialism, just chasing money, but realizing more that you have more than you think, that you have some things that you're going to have to let go of. in order to continue and further your success and to earn more. So again, a very similar theme to the first pile reading, but I think we're going to get a little bit, we're going to see some different ideas here about what you're dealing with. And so in your case, all you second pile 4 of coins people, letting go is going to actually require you to give up some control, to delegate some tasks, I think, in your life, perhaps in work or in other parts of your life, to some people around you. Possibly, and most likely, someone perhaps a bit younger or just generally less experienced at what you're asking them to do. And having some trust and faith in them to do these things for you, to delegate some things to them. Know that this person has your best interests at heart. They come with great intentions. And there are some caveats to this. Part of this surrender is also the understanding, I think, that they may not do these things exactly the way you would do them. When you delegate these tasks, when you put this trust in them, know that at first it may look like they're failing or screwing up because they're not you. And they don't do things exactly the way you do. But the Two of Swords here tells us to remain calm, to sort of let this play out a bit, and really withhold judgment here about how they go about this, because you may have this tendency to want to, intervene right away. You're like, hey, do these things for us. I'm asking you for this help. They start doing it, and you're like, oh my God, you're doing it all wrong. That's not how I would do it. That's not what I had in mind. Have some faith in them and really step back. If it seems like they're not sort of performing the way you'd expect, or things aren't panning out immediately the way you thought they would, give it some time. Let them work through this a bit, because the outcome of this for you will actually be a much greater sense of strength and organization. So through this whole process this week, not only will you achieve the things you want, and again, if they don't turn out exactly the way you would have done them, really step back and ask yourself, well, did I get the results I wanted? Did they actually do okay? And if you really are honest with yourself, you may find that they did a good job, or maybe even a better job with these things for you. And the end result is not only sort of the achievement of your goal, your immediate goal that you started off with here, but you're really going to grow here. This looks like you stepping into a greater role of leadership, and you will have gained someone, as an ally to help you going forward, someone who is going to work for you and do things for you. And that's what the Emperor is, clearly showing here, is movement into this greater leadership. And, that's essential. If you're really trying to build something big and something great and achieve more and succeed more, you can't do that in a vacuum. You can't do that all by yourself. It requires you to organize others and lead them to perform all those tasks, to do those great things. And so this looks like you really stepping into that a lot. And that's really exciting. So let this young person sort of fumble a bit. Be kind and compassionate with them. Give them some space to do these things. You're going to end up with a lot more than you really anticipated. And just to clarify that, we will pull out one more card here. And I think this speaks to the sense of completion of this sort of arc. You may find yourself, and this card kind of looks like some struggle here, but I think really what this is the universe sort of holding you back from really leaping off the cliff. You began this thing kind of stressed and like, how am I going to do this? And I don't have everything I need. To engaging with some help, delegating some of these tasks to people. And when you look back at it, you're going to be like, oh, wow, I'm really glad I held back some of my criticism here. I'm really glad I engaged with this because this person and what they've done for me has really made my life sane again. It's kind of stopped me from jumping off this cliff here. So that's how I interpret this card in this context. That's the message I see here. So really lean into to engaging with help for yourself delegating some of the tasks in your life, most likely in a job scenario, and leaning into that leadership more. You will get way more done and end up with way better results that way. And that's really the message for you if you chose the second pile for this week. And so for our third pile, or our third card, we have the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is a card of looking inward. We have the moon here. So that's always sort of, the moon is always inner knowledge, the goddess, the divine goddess, keeper of that inner knowledge, the illumination of that stuff, and sort of moving forward from feelings and beliefs of our past. In other words, this tells us that you are confronting some things that you actually need to leave behind. So there may be a current situation that has triggered some old feelings, or you may just be, something has come up in your life that you're thinking about some things from the past. You're having these feelings and beliefs that probably served you well at some point in your life, but they are no longer. And so let's get a little clarity on what that might be. So these old feelings, these sort of worn out beliefs, if you will, seem to me to be related to some actions that you took in the past, and perhaps actions that you took, some decisions you made, perhaps a bit hastily. So maybe you found yourself in a situation where you quit a job abruptly, or maybe you upped and moved across country on a whim. That's something that I actually did all of 10 years ago now. And when you look back on it, you have some deep regret, some feelings of, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. That really caused chaos in my life. I'll never do something like that again. And so maybe you're being faced with a situation right now where you have an opportunity to do something rather abruptly, and you're feeling a lot of intense feelings that this is going to cause chaos in your life again, just like it did before in the past when you took this sort of drastic action. So let's see if we can get some clarity on that, because sometimes drastic and immediate action, swift action, is the best thing for us. So let's see what we have here. So here we see another card very much in line with the Eight of Cups, with the Eight of Swords. And the eights kind of have these themes with them as numerically. Again, sort of blinding ourselves to the things that we know, letting the emotionality of the situation run dry. This suggests to me that these feelings you have about this current thing, that this opportunity you have to act hastily, to take a very quick, immediate action, are incorrect. You're into it. Those intense feelings are not really your higher self or the universe coming through with inspiration saying, hey, don't do this. This is regret over the past actions that you took because they didn't turn out well. And this suggests sort of a drying up of those emotions. So if this opportunity on paper, if logically this opportunity seems really good, this suggests that you should leap forward towards that again. And let's see if we can get some clarification. So the Magician is very strong in that direction. The Magician is someone who is actively taken on the role of creator of their universe. They are fully empowered and ready to start manipulating their reality, creating the reality that they want to see before them. Again, this also goes back to the idea that you should take this immediate opportunity that's presenting itself to you, that this will not turn out disastrous or ruinous for you as it had in the past. You are prepared and capable. And part of that is because of the experiences of the past. You've learned from them. You've gained a lot of power and wisdom through that, as we see from the infinity symbol here above the Magician. And so the final sort of result of that is a great many things. Certainly greater abundance and success. This is the Three of Pentacles, which is always cards of materialization, often of wealth. So you're going to see a greater success for you by taking this immediate course of action. You're also going to gain a great deal of wisdom, and you may find yourself feeling a greater deal of mastery and power in your life. Also, there will be others that come into your life through this endeavor that you will learn some things from, that you will teach some things from as well. That's another great theme with the Three of Pentacles. So if you have an immediate opportunity and you're really sort of, your gut instinct is really wrenching about it, it doesn't feel great, but on paper, logically in your mind, it seems like a good opportunity, you're ready to jump at that. The old thing, and you're really going to let go of a lot of old beliefs and limiting beliefs by doing so. So really, really sort of lean into that this week and be on the lookout for that opportunity if it hasn't already presented itself to you. And for our fourth and final card, final pile, we have the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands was a great choice for anyone who are feeling like you've gotten to a certain place with some endeavor in your life, probably your job or career. Maybe you're getting to a place where you're like, I've gotten a lot out of this, but I feel like I've sort of hit the ceiling. I've maxed out. I'm getting as much as I'm going to get or be able to achieve in my current situation. And now you're looking out into the world and wondering and thinking like, okay, what else is there? What is next? What can I do now to expand my horizons? That may look like a new job or possibly career, or just finding more opportunity in some way within the situation you're in. And so let's try to get some further messages amongst this. So one thing that will help you, that you're going to have to do to expand your horizons, is it's going to require you to be more willing to lean into conflict. The Five of Swords, classic theme of conflict here. And that's going to be probably a scary thing. It is for most of us. But you are capable, and you are capable of victory, given where you're at. So moving forward and the ability to expand those horizons is going to create some conflict or require you to essentially fight some battles to win that, to move forward with this greater thing in your life. And you shouldn't shy away from that. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily starting a lot of conflicts or like provoking people necessarily, but whatever the next step is for you to lean into these things and to start striking out into greater avenues, is going to require you to work through some sort of conflict. You're going to have to fight some battles to sort of win that. It might be a promotion. So maybe you have you apply for a promotion and it's a very contentious position. There's a number of applicants, from within and maybe even some external people, and they're all quite qualified. And so you're going to have to really go into that interview and go through that process, really with some confidence and really ready to put your best self forward, to speak from truth and power in your life, and be, wield all the influence and knowledge that you have. And you do have the strength and power to do that. So another card that reaffirms this idea, that you actually have a lot, you have a lot more momentum in this regard than you probably feel like you do. Keep moving forward. You really cannot be stopped. So if any obstacle does present itself to you, don't allow that to defeat you. Really sort of lean into it. Take it head on. You are more than capable. And taking on that obstacle, it's really interesting here. We have this conflict, and then we also see this card here. Now we have the Six of Pentacles. This is an interesting card because it is a bit of a card of discernment. So we see the scales here again, like we do with the Justice card and a few others. Even the Two of Swords sort of has that balance of two swords and the blind woman symbolism in it. But also there's a sense of nurturing here. So as you engage in whatever this hurdle or conflict is, be mindful of who you ally yourself with, who you sort of bring along and engage with to sort of help you, and sort of where you put your energy and resources in this. It's a very interesting and it's a little bit sort of conflicted thing here, a message in this. But I think you're going to find that you're going to have to make some choices about where exactly you put your energy in dealing with this conflict. You know, you have this momentum, but you do have to steer the chariot a bit and kind of get it going in the right direction. So hopefully we can clarify that a bit more. And so here we have the Death card. So this suggests also an ending of things. This might require you, and so now this is starting to be more clear to me, you may be faced with the need here, in order to broaden your horizons, to find the next thing for yourself, you may have to look outside of the current situation. And you may have to nurture some people along in that regard to get to that new thing. But I do see you sort of, again, probably looking outside of, so if this is more of a job context and maybe it's more like, should I seek promotion or should I seek a better job? I think you're looking at sort of ending the current job and seeking that better job. You're definitely looking for a new beginning. And so your current situation is probably a bit played out. And that gives me more clarity to this. This shows that, you know, you've been nurturing the current situation because you're there and you're putting your all into it and you have this momentum. But that maybe you've reached a limit. And so that's the conflicted part of it, really. Feeling like, you know, you've put your time and effort into this place and this endeavor, but you've kind of gotten as much as you can out of it. And so now it's time to seek a new thing. And the Death card definitely speaks to that in a big way. And it's going to be a pretty big change for you. It might be beyond just an immediate, like finding this a different position, the exact sort of same career and skills, but maybe moving on to a new career, maybe one adjacent to the one that you're in that still uses a lot of your skills and expertise, but is significantly different. So you're looking at addressing some pretty big changes here, but don't be afraid to lean into that. That stuff is really scary, obviously. You know, it can create a lot of anxiety, but you definitely have the strength and momentum to move forward. And you've sort of nurtured this current situation as much as you can. You've gotten as much as you can out of it. So hopefully that clicks with you if you've chosen chosen this fourth pile. I hope all of these readings, any of them, have resonated with you. Again, please leave some comments and let me know, again, whether I'm doing a great job or a bad job. I always like to hear constructive criticism as well as praise. And if you'd like to explore any of these things further in your life, please check out my links in my bio or in the descriptions for this video. I offer online and in-person tarot readings and a number of other resources, some of which are completely free to explore these concepts more. And thank you all very much for joining me, and we'll see you next week.